Sponsored by Local Touch Online, a free online magazine that has an exclusive article by Pop Culture Geekery every month.
What's going on, everybody? You are at Chuck's Comic Corner. Today we're talking about Pulp. Pulp is a book from Image that is done by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. If you don't know those names, you need to go and check out a bunch of their books. Both those guys are amazingly talented. They've done so much work, and most of what they tend to work on is crime stories and a lot of noir, all that kind of stuff. Beautiful things like Criminal and Fatale and all that kind of stuff. They've done all sorts of amazing crap. I said crap because I can't swear, so I gotta be really careful. It's not crap though. Their work is absolutely amazing. So now I got to check out Pulp. And as soon as I open it up, on the front cover, it's got the old Wild West feel. And I'm like, okay, so is this Wild West crime? It is, and it's not. It's a lot of things, and it's not. You know what I mean? Fantastic book. Let's start. I'll tell you about it, and then we'll get back to that little take on it. It all starts in 1939. There's this older gentleman. He's a comic book writer. Write what you know. And he brings in a script and he shows it off, and it's for one of his westerns because that's what he does. He actually has a series that he has created for this one company that goes unnamed, and he brings in stuff, and he starts to find out that because he's so old and he looks like he's into his 70s, they're starting to work on a replacement. The head editor, his nephew, is starting to work on stories for his book that he created. But of course, they own it, right? So they can do whatever they want. And so we start to see the sadness of this guy's life. He takes a pay cut. And of course, that's frustrating because at the time, he's like, well, but Wild West genre is like the best it's doing right now. And they're like, yeah, but we have a lot of competition. He's like, so I lose money because you have competition? Like, seriously? Welcome to the comic world. It is what it is. But he ends up having a heart attack. Things go really wrong for him, and we see that his life is not in a great place. He's married, and his poor wife live in this kind of crappy apartment, and he really just wants to do better for her. And mostly it's just that he wants to do better for her. And so we start to realize going through that his stories are actually things that he went through. He was in the Wild West, and he was a criminal in the Wild West. And so he kind of elaborates, makes them a little bigger, but there's still a lot of him in those stories. And so we go through that, and as he starts to get, he ends up, when he has his heart attack, he's mugged. And so all the money that he was just paid is lost. And of course, he goes to the doctor, so he has to pay for that. And so things are really rough on him. And he just decides, I'm going to go back to crime. And that's when things kind of take a twist, and we get to see some very interesting things. I don't want to get too far into it, but one of the things is that it's 1939, so there's actually a lot of stuff going on with Nazi Germany, including the real life fact that there were Nazis in New York, and they were having a rally in New York, and so this is based around that rally. And it happens right at that time, in fact, during the rally. And so there's a lot of neat stuff that happens with that, and there's a lot of juxtapositions with this story in our modern day life. Of course, depending on how you're looking at the political spectrum and whatnot, that word Nazi gets knocked around an awful lot. And of course, a lot of us feel like we're in this very precarious position, and of course, and so did these people. So there's a lot of links to that. And this guy is also an older gentleman who's heading towards the end of his life, and he's working in a career that's really tough to stick around with, and he's not making a lot of money, but he's doing what he loves, and he's telling the stories that he's impassioned with. And as a comic creator, I got most of that. I got all of it, really, and I really felt him. It was a beautiful story. I really liked it a lot. I'm trying to think of some movies.
I'm gonna have to phone a friend, Jeremy.
Wendy, what was that movie we watched with it's you know what? I don't even remember the name of the movie. I can't even tell her anything, but it reminds me of several movies. And it was absolutely an amazing story. I'm going to get away from the movie stuff now. It was an absolutely amazing story. I had a terrific time with it. I highly recommend it. Ed and Sean's art is absolutely beautiful, as always. Really terrific. Everything's fairly muted color-wise, but it all makes sense because it's still got that kind of noirish or old Wild West feel to it, while still being done, and it jumps between the 1930s and the like 1890s and whatnot. So there's an awful lot going on there. Really good story. It has a Breaking Bad feel to it, because of course in Breaking Bad he needs to go up and he ends up getting into drugs because he said, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Breaking Bad, because life is really tough on him and he wants to do something good for his family. And of course this is, he does bad to do good, and this is very much along those same lines. I really the ending is tough. It's all tough. They don't pull punches, so it's heart-wrenching and it's beautiful, and it's just a wonderfully emotive story. And despite that, I still really loved the ending. A lot of times those tough endings can be really hard on you, and you can just go, yeah, no, I'm not ready for that. Well, no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. Aces, way to go. Really love this. Keep putting out this kind of stories. Honestly, I loved it, and now it makes me want to go back and check out a lot of their other crime noir stuff, because I haven't. As terrible as that is to say, I haven't. So anyways, guys, thank you for coming out. I really appreciate you. Please check out Image's Pulp. I think you guys are absolutely going to love it. If I didn't like it, I'd tell you straight to your face, but I had a really good time with this one. Thank you so much. And as always, everybody, peace, love, and comics. Take care of yourself.